What's up, everybody? My name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon, the crypto universe. Today is Thursday, October 19th. In today's video, we're going to talk about 3 gaming tokens. Now, 2 of these tokens have been acquired by Coinbase Ventures, is what you're seeing right now as my homepage. But you need to stick around to the very end of the video because there is one token that is not chosen or even financed by Coinbase Ventures. Why is that important to know? Well, I'm going to share with you why that's important in the first 2 tokens. So keep this in mind. This is not financial advice. This is just my opinion, just for your own entertainment. Do not invest in any of these coins because I say so. It's ultimately up to you to make the financial decision for yourself. So before we begin, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our Patreon page. And most importantly, please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I will never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct message, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. So guys and girls, let's get right into it. Now, the reason I'm bringing up these gaming tokens, especially with the first 2 that was invested by Coinbase Ventures, is because there could be maximal return on investment. What do I mean by that? What I mean is you can put very little amount of money into it and you can get a huge amount in return. That's very speculative, but again, there's a reason for that, and it's because they are microcaps. Microcaps are market cap coins that have not a ton of liquidity in their portfolio. So let's go ahead and talk about the very first gaming token. And that's something that you've pretty much heard before, and that is called Big Time. Now, Big Time currently is trading around 14 cents. Now, we did cover this specific token previously in our last video, which I'll put a link on the upper right hand side. And we predicted that this token was going to actually take a dip, because when we covered this actual token, it was actually up around here of around 25 cents and above. And like I said in that video, it had dipped down and may continue to dip down because, again, people will take their profits. There are people who were playing this game a long time ago, but now they are taking their profits. So you may see this token dump down just a little bit more. But the reason we're looking at this overall chart is because if you look at the market cap, it's only $22 million. That's really interesting. But you do have to keep this in mind. There's a fully diluted market cap, which is $738 million. Now, why is that important? When you see a fully diluted market cap, you're also seeing how much money has been invested by venture capitalists, such as Coinbase, such as any other partners that invested in this game a long time ago. So they could be taking their liquidity out at a certain time because they do have vested schedules, which means they can't just withdraw all their money all at once. They have vested schedules, which means that they have to sell their tokens every 6, 7, maybe 12 months, depending on the contract that they signed. So right now, that's a lot of money that they put in. And right now, they don't look like they're going to be at all taking profits because, again, the market cap is so low. But again, the reason I want to bring this up is because what if this market cap does pump to the billion-dollar market caps? Because we do see some games such as Axie Infinity, such as ApeCoin. I mean, there are many other different games out there that did reach into the billion-dollar market cap when we were in the bull market for gaming. So when we look at the recent news regarding when this token was listed on Coinbase, this is the most important part, is that it pumped 267%. We saw it from 7 cents all the way up to almost over 35 cents, just within the listing of that token. And this is very important for the last token that I'm going to share with you. Now, if we look at the game itself, Big Time, it's a pretty legit game. It kind of reminds me of World of Warcraft. Now, the graphics aren't as great, but nonetheless, the game is being delivered. And if you want to know if this game is actually real and people are playing it, well, this is a great example. Pengboy, who is the CEO and founder of Degen Legends, does have live streams playing this actual game. And it just goes to show you that it's really exciting. People are really playing this out. And again, people are earning Big Time tokens just by playing the game, but you have to have certain NFTs in order to play the game. And also we have this person named Ellie who's also playing the game as well on her own schedule, in her own land, in her own experience. So again, I'm showing you this because I want you to understand how this game is actually playing out. So for the fact that the Big Time token is being listed on Coinbase and also has over 269,000 followers, again, we don't know if some of those are bots, it's still pretty promising. and Coinbase Ventures has exposure to this. So I definitely think Coinbase Ventures does not want this to fail, which is why they listed a token. Now, if you don't know, Big Time didn't want to create a token. When they first started the game, a token was not in the cards. But all of a sudden, I think because they wanted to start a token is because they need more financial support for the project. So when there's a token, it incentivizes people to invest in it. So make sure to do your own research before buying into this. But for a market cap of around 22 million, knowing that right now Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies could go into another bull market based on if there's going to be a Bitcoin ETF passed, then you do know that gaming tokens will make a strong return. And this is the second generation of GameFi, of gaming tokens. So with that said, there could be a stronger investment towards these things and also strong profit of returns. So keep that in mind. This is big time. But I want to share with you the next token, something that's been on my radar, and that is God's Unchained. Now, again, you got to look at this chart as not too much of a bearish scenario because, again, this is where the bulls buy the dip. The reason they buy the dip is because they're buying the fear. They're buying where people will never buy, which is at these all-time low prices. Typically, retail investors buy when it's pumping because the euphoria and the FOMO, also known as fear of missing out, kicks in. So if you look at this is the time to buy. God's Unchained has a market cap of around 35 million. But know this, the fully diluted market cap isn't too far off. It's a little bit more than double, but it's not too far off compared to Big Time. And that market cap for the fully diluted is 71 million. Now, if you look at this token, if you were to buy this around 0.14 cents, then its recent all-time high in the bull market back in 2021 was roughly around $7 to $8. So honestly, I definitely think that this game has a great chance of returning to another bull market because, again, it's because God's Unchained, you can actually buy this on Coinbase as well. You can buy a Big Time token on Coinbase. You can also buy this token, which is the God token, on Coinbase as well. So people are able to buy this within the United States. Now, when you actually look at what they've been developing, they have different ways of playing this game. Now, God's Unchained, if you don't know, it's kind of like a card playing game. And so they have different themes and titles and narratives for each deck of cards, such as Trial of Gods, Light's Verdict, Mortal Judgment, Band of Wolf, Tides of Fate, Winter Wonderlands, so forth, so on. They continue to create these decks. And this is exactly what the game looks like. You literally are competing with somebody across the world or around the world, and you're fighting with your deck of cards. Now, you could win these cards, you can lose these cards, but nonetheless, you could start earning yourself God tokens from selling these different cards if you really want to. Now, I'm not sure if you can actually earn God token by winning an actual battle, but nonetheless, this is really amazing. Now, you must be wondering how much these cards are selling for on the secondary market. Well, if you go over to Immutable, because God's Unchained is built on the Immutable X, you can see that right now, over the past 24 hours, these cards in total have traded, only in the 24 hours, over 846,000 US dollars. That's just within 24 hours. If you look at the all-time volume that this collection has had, $272 million, with the highest sale of one of the cards being at least 76,000 US dollars. That just gives you an understanding of where God's Unchained stands amongst all these other players. And again, like I said before, Coinbase Ventures has exposure to their token. So keep that in mind. This is the reason why I think Big Time and God's Unchained are not going to go anywhere, because they've developed a game, they've delivered the product, people are playing the game, and also it's really easy to buy the token on Coinbase, the app and exchange. And when it's available like that for people to buy, imagine when the bull market does come for GameFi, for gaming tokens. This will not stop. So now I want to get to the very end of the video with our very last token, something that you need to understand and hear me out. So let's talk about the token that could definitely pump, and believe it or not, is not listed on Coinbase yet. And that is Star Atlas, but more specifically, the Atlas token. Now, the reason I'm pointing out the Atlas token is because it's an in-game currency token. It's not a DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization token. That token for Star Atlas is called Polis, P-O-L-I-S. I'm not covering that specific token because we've already covered that token before. Why am I covering Star Atlas, or at least the Atlas token? Well, obviously, if you look at the price, it's 0.0015 cents. Its all-time high price, especially during the bull market in the gaming world, roughly around 25 cents. That's a huge, huge gain if we are ever to come back to those levels. The market cap is 14 million, fully diluted market cap, roughly around 52 million. Again, pretty small market cap, pretty small fully diluted market cap. But the reason I'm bringing this token up is because it's not listed on Coinbase, and number two, it reminds me of the Big Time token. Now, the Big Time token is also an in-game currency token, but nonetheless, when it was listed on Coinbase, it went from 7 cents up to 35 cents. So if Star Atlas, which is one of the top games on Solana, or if anything, the top game in Web3 on Solana, is to be listed on Coinbase, you will see crazy maximum gains with this specific token, considering it's super low. If you just put $100, imagine how many tokens you're going to get out of that, right? So keep that in mind. But know this, the total supply of the token itself is around 36 billion Atlas tokens. So that's a lot of tokens. This doesn't have a supply and demand thing, right? It's not like there's a limited supply. There's a lot of these tokens out there. But again, there's Dogecoin, which has a ton of tokens as well, and it's inflationary. It's not deflationary. But still, people invest in Dogecoin, and Dogecoin is literally in the billions of dollars. So do your own research with that. Now, if we look at Animoca Brands, which is a huge company that's based out of Asia, that's invested in a lot of different gaming projects within Web3, they also invested in Star Atlas. So imagine if Animoca Brands gets Star Atlas to be listed on Coinbase. It's not too far-fetched because Animoca Brands also has exposure to the ApeCoin as well. And ApeCoin is part of the Yuga Labs, and ApeCoin is now listed on Coinbase. Now, if we look over here at the actual game itself, because again, you have to see to believe that this is an actual playable game, you see that the quality of this game is by far substantially amazing because, again, this team has developed this game over the past couple years. It has not stopped because it had the funding that it needed in order to create this game. And also other gaming experience such as this one, you can see that right now it's explored with, battling different vehicles, characters that literally can fly across the air. You have headquarters, but also these really great terrains where you can see that the atmospheres changed drastically from being in space, being in different planets. It's out of this world, like quite literally. But also they develop great skins for their different vehicles. Why is this important? Well, if you can create vehicles with different skins, that means they're going to be worth value because they could be converted as NFTs. And what's great about this is that right now they have an NFT marketplace where you can actually buy these ships. And again, I think that these will sell for pretty hefty prices once this game becomes available. And I don't expect older adults to be into this. I expect young people. I expect between the ages of 18 up to even the late 20s of people being a part of this game. And it doesn't mean like 30-year-olds or older can't play this game, but I'm just saying that right now they are going to be the most heavily savvy within the gaming world because they have so much free time to be playing these things. But they create, Star Atlas creates these designs, these concept artworks, and you think like, oh, it's just concept artworks. But no, a lot of these different vehicles are going to be turned into real 3D digital animated assets, which allow people to play within the game itself. So let's go ahead and conclude the video because we need to close it down. What's my conclusion and statement between these three tokens? Big Time right now is at a really high price point. It has the potential to moon, but again, I definitely think right now may not be the time to have too much exposure to this because right now I think there are going to be a ton of venture capitalists or people who had played this game really early who are going to take their profits. So this could dip down a little bit further considering that right now it's at around 15 cents. But again, there's also God's. God's Unchained is another token that's completely undervalued. I definitely think this has more upside as well. Again, available to buy in Coinbase. And its market cap isn't too far away from the fully diluted market cap. I definitely think that because of their NFTs that have been trading millions of dollars on an all-time basis and hundreds of thousands of dollars over a 24-hour basis is something you just cannot sleep on. This collection is not going anywhere. That means the token is not going anywhere. And in terms of supply and demand, there's only 500,000 of these God tokens available. And then the last but not least, Star Atlas. Star Atlas, I think, has one of the more promising aspects. It has not been listed on Coinbase, but when it does, I definitely think there'll be a bigger return on investment. I cannot wait to cover this again once that time does come along. But right now, in terms of the supply, there's too many of these tokens. But again, it is an in-game currency token and could follow the same road as Big Time. So with that said, let me know your top 3 gaming tokens we should cover on this channel, and I cannot wait to read them. So with that said, be sure to like the button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our Patreon page to receive all of our alpha calls and buy and sell orders of both NFTs and cryptocurrencies. Until then, see you guys and girls next time.